Hello, kindergartners. Today I would like to show you how to use crayons in the Drawing Center. In order to practice this activity, you can use the regular crayons found in this blue bucket. There's also some peeled crayons. These are basically older crayons that were broken by accident. I've peeled off the wrappers so that we can do something special with those today. And there's a third kind of crayon called a crayon hunk. These are basically small bits of crayons that have been melted back together into one big hunk of a crayon or one big chunk. And we can also do some special things with this type of crayon. So the first thing I'd like to show you is that as an artist, you control how hard or soft you press with the crayon. So when I press hard with the crayon, I'm able to get dark marks or lines that are showing up on my paper here. Be careful not to press too hard or the crayon may actually break. I can also press lightly, so using less pressure with my hand, to color an area of my picture lightly or draw light lines. So as an artist, I might need to think about when are times that I want dark, bold colors or softer and lighter colors. I can do things like draw a pumpkin. I was thinking about pumpkins today because it is fall, and I've noticed that there are many pumpkins growing on farms around town, and they're for sale in local grocery stores. You might have noticed too. You'll see here that I'm pressing hard with my crayon to draw a pumpkin. And then I might choose to color inside my pumpkin lightly so that my outline and any details I choose to draw are dark and bold, but the actual coloring is soft and light, the way that you see me doing here. If I'd like my pumpkin to look more realistic, I can actually press just a little bit harder at the bottom of my pumpkin. Sometimes objects near the bottom appear just a little bit darker to our eyes. And in order to make it look a little bit darker to our eyes, I just simply press a little harder with my crayon so it fades from dark to light. And I might press softly with my crayon to color in my pumpkin stem. You could draw anything in your imagination today and explore what it looks like when you press hard or soft with a crayon. Next, I'd like to show you how to complete a texture rubbing. Don't forget your name and class code on your paper. If you need help, please let me know and I will help you write that information so that we know whose drawing this belongs to. To do a texture rubbing, you need a peeled crayon using any color of your choice. And then you'll select a texture plate. There are 3 different options. There are these blue ones that have patterns on both sides. Be sure to look through the pile because all of the texture plates have different patterns. These are real leaves that I've laminated and turned into a texture plate. And then these are images of leaves on plastic that are also perfect for texture rubbing. So no matter which texture I choose, I put the plate underneath my paper and then I select a crayon color and I need to make sure that I hold my paper with one hand and my crayon is sideways. I then use my thumb and my pointer finger to hold this crayon and rub it across my texture plate so that I can see the design show up on my paper. I can then choose to draw other things next to this texture plate, or I may play around and incorporate more texture plates into my artwork. So once again, texture plate goes under the paper. Hold that paper nice and snug and rub with the crayon while the crayon is sideways on your paper. I can use an actual leaf. Move my crayon, my paper here rather. Please notice though that I am only getting crayon on my paper. So as an artist, my job is to get supplies on the paper only. I am not coloring on the table, my clothing, or other surfaces in the classroom, just the paper. So this texture rubbing gets all the details of a real leaf quite nicely. Okay, lastly, you could go on a texture adventure in the classroom. That's how I created this artwork. I selected some crayons and I walked around the classroom to look to see if I could find things that were interesting textures. So in the classroom, I found things like a Lego plate, this step stool, and even this drain on the floor. So all I did for these was I put my paper on top, used a crayon sideways, and rubbed them like I just showed you. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the Drawing Center today.